Hello, hello, and welcome to the free community call. Today we are talking about finding light in these tumultuous times. And if you have never worked with me before, my name is Lori Parente. I am an angel medium and healer, and I work with people to help them to bring about the best of themselves in their lives. So, finding light in these tumultuous times. I was speaking with someone last night and they said, "You're so lucky you connect with angels. You're so lucky you feel so peaceful." And I said, this is a field that we can all connect into. There is a field of love that is all around us and within us, and we have the ability to connect into it. And I have seen over the last 10 years or more how much more available this field of love is to us, and how much easier it is for people to connect to their loved ones, to connect to their angels, to connect to their spiritual team, and to just connect into who they truly are at the core of their being, a spiritual being having this spiritual experience in a human body. So with that raise in consciousness and the ability to connect more, we're also connecting more into the fear. We can feel it more. And I know that everyone can feel this. We were watching a football game on Friday night, and just so uncharacteristically, these players were so violent and they were being ejected from the game like they do in hockey. And it was just, everyone is angry and they're not realizing why they're angry, but we're all feeling this war energy. And I mean, there's horrific things happening and we're getting hooked into this fear. So it is an old story that is breaking down. And if you're here, if you're watching, if you're here with me at this time, or if you're watching in the future, you are someone who is dedicating yourself to bringing in your light. You are a light worker. You are here to be part of the solution. And what that involves is becoming a compassionate witness to what's happening, hooking into our compassionate hearts and focusing on our lights. So I would just recommend, if you are listening to the news or you are hearing a conversation where you're feeling yourself hooking into that fear, into that them versus us, into the right versus wrong, into the victim versus perpetrator, that you just notice and bring yourself back and do whatever you do to bring yourself back, whether that's humming or singing or dancing or doing some kind of breathing exercise, and just saying, I am here in this moment, in this time. I see a light in front of me. I hear my dog snoring, and I hope you guys can all hear her too. I see an angel. I'm wearing gray. I'm just bringing myself back to the present moment. So where are you right now? And then finding moments of stillness. And something that I discovered just in the last couple of weeks, find the stillness between the words. There's stillness there. It's a natural stillness we can tap into. Be in nature. Do whatever you do to just bring yourself back to the here and the now, because this fear is rising and we're feeling it. And love is the energy that is going to eventually overtake this. It is absolutely being expressed through violent acts. But when enough of us choose to be expanded and into our compassionate hearts, that narrative of fear is going to dissolve. It really, truly will. Right now, the fear is absolutely louder than the compassion, but we're also seeing people joining in communities, listening to meditations, just finding places where they can bring themselves more into their hearts. So when there's enough of us doing this, the impossible, what we think is impossible, is going to occur, and we will find peace, and we will find unity, and we will find awareness. So I love to quote Einstein, and he said, "You cannot solve a problem with the same mind that created it." And I'm going to take it a step further and say we're never going to solve this problem with our rational minds. We are going to solve it with our hearts. We need to change our operating systems. We need to get out of these operating systems of control and fear and limiting beliefs and get into an operating system based on love. And that compassionate heart is not something we can quantify through words. It's not something we're going to understand up here. It's something we feel. And when we get into it, it really is a known energy. And I know that if you've worked with me or if you've worked in any kind of meditative space, when you get into that feeling of that heart, It's like a coming home. It's a known energy. And so we're being invited to attune to that energy and to have that energy be a part of our lives, in our thoughts, in our words, in our actions, as much as possible. We're tuning to that vibration of love and coming into the knowing of who we truly are at the core of our being. So that's my take on everything that's happening. And now we're going to do an activation. So just get yourself comfortable. We're going to work with our prana tubes. So if you have that kind of visualization, and remember that just imagining it is enough. That tube of light that's coming down from above you and all the way into the core crystal of love in the earth. And then we're going to bring in our angels, and we're just going to expand our compassionate hearts and find a way to bring that into our everyday being. So get yourself comfortable, roll your shoulders up and back, start to deepen your breath. And just invite yourself to drop in, to let the worries of the day go. And just be here, right now. And start to feel your energy moving from your head down into your heart. And see that spark of light behind your heart start to grow and envelop your whole body. And just breathe that in and out. Breathing in light and exhaling any discomfort. And imagine a tube of white light coming from above you as far as you can imagine, and all the way around your physical body and down into the core crystal of the earth. And within this light, you are a sphere of light. Your energy body exists as a sphere of light. And just notice how it feels to be sitting in your own energy, to release any energy that is not yours. And you can even use your hands to kind of feel around your auric body, your energy field, and imagine that it's very strong in front and behind, to your left and right, above and below. And now I want you to imagine in front of you some very powerful light beings. Maybe there's half a dozen or more. And these are angels or higher aspects of yourself, guides, mentors, teachers, loved ones. And imagine that they encircle you and they raise their hands and they're sending so much light to you. And you may start to see or feel some incoherent energies within your field. No judgment. We don't need to get into a story. There's nothing to see here. Just notice. And if it looks like a little rock or a pebble or a distortion, just what does it look like? Does it have a color? Does it have a sound? Does it have a vibration? Is it hooked to your physical body somewhere? And if so, how does that feel? And again, we're just noticing. We're just noticing what the light is bringing up for us. Now I want you to imagine that these beings are now putting their hands directly on your auric field, on your sphere. And this light is really intensifying, and it just gives you this sense of you can relax. You can be you. And this feeling of this energy being comfortable, but also familiar, as it is unconditional love, no judgment, no expectations, just love. And just notice how that feels. This is your compassionate heart in action. And this light is just getting brighter and brighter until your sphere of light is just beaming. Can you allow this? Can you receive it? Can you accept it? Can you surrender to your own light and allow your resistance to fade away? Can you attune to it and recognize it as who you are at the core of your being? And can you memorize this feeling of unconditional love so that you hold it always as much as you can, your abundant light, just strengthening your auric field so you feel peaceful and comfortable in who you are and sharing who you are. And now we're going to allow that light to grow beyond our sphere and hook into the meridians and the grids and the earth and beyond, with the thousands and thousands and thousands of light workers who are doing the same at this time. To sit in unconditional love and to share it with the world that needs it at this time. And can you imagine that your heart matters, that your light, your contribution is what is needed right now? And with this feeling of unconditional love, with no agenda, no judgment, nothing but love, I invite you to thank the beings of light for showing you how powerful and wonderful you are. And I invite you to start coming back into your space very slowly with this question in mind, or these questions. Can I allow my own compassionate heart to be the guiding force in my life? To live, breathe, and act from my compassionate heart that is filled with unconditional love? And can I surrender to the flow of creation and dance the beautiful dance of life? And just memorize this feeling, encode it into every bit of who you are. Smile, be grateful for this activation. And slowly, slowly bring yourself back to the present moment. You may wish to tap your feet, to rub your arms, to give yourself a big hug. And only when your heart allows can you open your eyes and start to recognize where you are in this physical moment in time.